We've all kind of felt the love bug every now and then. When you're in love, you're on top of the world. All you can think about is that one person. All you want to spend time with is that one person. It's called the honeymoon phase. Now, some of us fall crazy in love. Like, I mean crazy. But these people that we are talking about next, they loved in such absurd ways and so hard. They took I Can't Imagine My Life Without You to a whole other level. Former Olympian Oscar Pistorius gunned down his girlfriend at the time, model Reeva Steenkamp. In 2012, Pistorius was the first double-legged amputee to run in the London Olympics. That is fucking apeshit. Like, I wouldn't even run in the Olympics, and I have legs. So, like, the fact that he's like, yeah, these are a thing. Let me just fucking sprint away on the Olympic field real quick. Kudos to him. But he obviously gained a following and a fame for this because it's fucking mind-melting. At least to me. I read that shit and was like, what do you mean? No. And so, anyway, you want to feel lazy, read that and it makes you feel lazy. So, anywho, he gained a following and fame for this, and a year later, he would begin his relationship with Steenkamp. The two had been freshly into the relationship at the time of the crime, and after only 3 months together, one night would change the two lives forever.
Olympic and Paralympic champion Oscar Pistorius had shot and killed his girlfriend in his home in Pretoria. There was already a heavy police presence at Silverwood's country estate.
February 14, 2013, Steenkamp and Pistorius both were in bed when Oscar got up to go out on the balcony to get a fan, from what he said. He heard a noise from the bathroom and said he had gotten startled by it and assumed his girlfriend Reeva was still asleep in the bed, so he ran and got his gun immediately. He shot 4 times into the bathroom and hit her critically. After shooting, he then claims to have realized that, oh, it might have been Reeva. But at this point, it was obviously too late. He did 8 years, and he went up for parole. February 14th. In 1971, Jesse McBain and Patricia Mann were 2 young lovebirds, and Patricia was a nursing student. Jesse was just starting his education as a freshman at North Carolina State University. Now, at the time, there was a dance at Patricia's hospital that she was at that night. So the couple went, and they had a good time, swang the night away, and at 11:30, the two left the dance and went to a cul-de-sac nearby to get some alone time.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
And then the next day, people realized that they were still gone. Now, Patricia's fellow nursemates knew it was strange for her to be out past the 1 o'clock curfew of that night, like, without having a reason for it. Like, usually, she would at least let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be out a little bit later. But she was very, very serious about her career, about her studies, everything. So this was completely out of character for her. And so they knew that something was wrong. So they called hospitals to see if there had been an accident. They then called the police. And they then went to go out looking for the couple themselves. Now, back in the day, couples went to places that they would call lovers' lanes. And, you know, There were a few cul-de-sacs where it was kind of a unwritten rule for, like, the nurses to get alone time with their boyfriends, and if there was a street or a cul-de-sac empty, you parked, and if the cul-de-sac had a car in it, you went, sorry, my freaking slang snuck out a lot there. Okay, now, if you went into a cul-de-sac and somebody else was there, you were to move on to the next one out of respect, you know, let them get their thing going on, and, you know, just kind of let it be. So, that's what they did. So the nurses went to these cul-de-sacs to obviously check it out, and they indeed found the car in the cul-de-sac. But there was no Jesse or Patricia. Everything in the car seemed completely normal, though. Their coats were in the back seat, and everything was really, really, like, average looking. It didn't look as if there was, like, a struggle. They didn't seem like, you know, nothing was just in complete disarray. So, their coats were in the back seat. Everything was, you know, normal. At first they thought that the couple may have eloped, but after 2 days of them being missing and hearing nothing from either one of them, they knew that that wasn't the case. So they were deemed missing persons, and a search for the two were put into action pretty quickly. Now, time had already gone by so much, and they were running out of time, and they had zero answers. So, February 25th, 1971, a surveyor was doing work in the area along a one-lane dirt road when he unearthed something that looked a little bit like a mannequin leg. Now, we all know how these stories go in the true crime community. It's never a fucking mannequin leg. Unfortunately, it would be awesome if it was every time, right? But it's not. No. It was Jesse McBain attached to it. So, McBain and Mann had been, oh God, they went through it, boy, let me tell you. Oh my God. So, McBain and Mann had been tied to a tree with thick knots around their heads and hands. The victims were strangled. McBain was still wearing his class ring and his watch, and there were no signs of, like, theft or any type of sexual assault. Patricia had an internal injury, where she may have been, like, punched really hard or kicked or stomped. But the reason I wanted to talk about this one is because not only is it weird as shit, like, they just go missing and then pop up, but their hands and their heads are tied. The police also say that it seemed as though the couple, like, weren't just hanged from a tree either. They had been, like, dropped, and then it seems whoever attacked them let them back up for air, and then dropped him again to watch him die. It's like he was playing, like, some sort of, like, cat and mouse game with them. So, anywho, I don't know. This case is crazy, though, because there's still no answer to it to this day. So, this last one was in 2001, and it was Valentine's Day in Oklahoma. Now, John Hamilton would make a disturbing-ass phone call after giving his wife a not-so-loving Valentine's Day gift by taking her life.
Please, send an ambulance, please.
What's the problem?
My wife, I think my wife is dead.
Sir?
Please, send...
He told the operator he was trying CPR.
Listen, I'm a doctor. I've been trying CPR. Please send somebody, quick.
Okay. Is she not breathing?
No, she's not breathing. I don't get pulse. Please.
Okay.
Hurry.
You're doing CPR on her?
Yes, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm going to hang up so I can
All
continue,
right.
please.
We'll be right there.
Okay.
By the time emergency workers arrived, it was clear that Susan Hamilton was dead.
She had been strangled with telephone cords and her skull bashed in. With her husband being an abortion doctor, she was receiving a ton of weird death threats and phone calls. So police zeroed in on John, obviously, as the culprit behind the harassment and threatening calls, and arrested him. So, yeah, John will be spending Valentine's Day behind bars from here on out. Alright, so, I know I briefly did cover these. But over time, I do want to cover these cases more in depth for you because I myself am intrigued by all three of these, honestly. I love older cases though, because to me, older cases are way, way more mysterious because you had to, like, kind of get creative back in those days. Like, I'm not shitting you. Like, there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about cases that are hella confusing because we didn't have the technology or any of the education that we have on, like, crime and how to analyze things. So, yeah, science has come a long-ass way, and I'm excited for some cold cases to honestly start closing, because there's a few that have already been shut this year. So, anywho, if you guys enjoyed this episode, go like, subscribe, do all that, put on the bell, da-ding, and shoot us some comments, let us know what you guys want us to talk about, and you can find us on Instagram at Truific Pod, Facebook Truific Pod,